Hi everybody, my name is Nick and welcome to the first episode of Rich and the Bull. I'm here with my good friend Richard Ehrlich, and we're here to help you to think like the rich and sort out the bull so that you can make smart and sound financial decisions. I know what you're thinking, everybody out there watching this. Why do we have to bear through another financial education show? And we want to solve a lot of the myths and misnomers that are out there. I know a lot of you guys are hearing all this different information about different products and programs and vehicles that are available to you. It's hard to sort out the wheat from the chaff out there and decide for yourself what that you want to do for your investments, what's a good choice for you, and how do you get through all the weeds and how do you sort out to get the best information so you can make a good decision and know what it is that you want to do, why you're doing it, and know the pros and cons of getting out of just about any kind of vehicle out there. So, we have our good friend Rich Ehrlich in here. Rich, what were some of the best reasons that you can think of that we came together to create this show because of what you're seeing out there and how it's affecting your clients over the last several decades of doing business?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the reason why we did this show, as you know, is because our clients across the country have been begging us to try to help us get real information out there. And the biggest frustrating thing that I see around the country is that people are buying product. They're not actually getting plans put together. They don't really think through the process of why they have what they have. Very often I'll ask somebody, I say, why do you have investment X? And I have this deer in a headlight, I don't know. I'm like, well, you have $500,000 in that. You think you might want to know why? And what's interesting, Nick, is that it's not that people are stupid. People are out there. If you're really good at what you're doing, you're not going to be an expert in the investment world. The idea is to have somebody guide you through, sift through all of the myths and misconceptions, get the real facts involved, and then you're a smart person. Once you have the right facts in front of you, and if it's appropriate for you and it fits into an overall plan, then it's a logical decision. It's not a sale. It's a logical flow from one point to another to help you achieve what your stated goal is.
Yeah, one of the things that I see is that if you're going to somebody with a hammer, everything they look at looks like a nail.
Right.
So the issue that I always run into with my clients is, instead of taking a rifled approach and dialing in really what it is that they're investing in, they take this shotgun approach where they just are trying to throw enough mud against the wall and hope that a good investment sticks. And like you said, they don't do things as a part of a plan. They're just doing things. And so having the right structure in place, right? We always hear the old adage, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you get to keep that really counts. But failing to plan is planning to fail. I mean, that's another cliche thing, but it's really true. I mean, I know that you see this with your clients, but those that take the time to really get their fundamental foundation put into place and then do their homework on their investments, they're always relying on people to tell them what to go into rather than do their own homework and having resources such as this show right here, that's going to allow them to go back to what they're doing, relook at that, right? Rethink it, and maybe they don't want to be in those kinds of investments anymore. Right. Or maybe there's other vehicles that are available to them that they never knew were at their fingertips. A lot of these people out there, they know that certain things exist, but they don't know where to go to get them, right, and they don't know who to listen to.
Well, I think the frustrating thing, and the reason, the main focus of this show and the real value that this show is going to bring to you is the fact that nothing should be sold to you, right? So if you have a sort of a financial coach kind of sitting on the sidelines as you're about to make an investment, whatever that investment may be, then you're going to be in a position to say, hey, this really is a fit. And you have to start with the end in mind, like what exactly is it that you're trying to accomplish? I often use the example of, imagine you went to a new doctor and you walked in and you're sitting on that, that uncomfortable white paper that they have, the crinkly paper, and the doctor walks in and says, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And they don't ask you anything. They just start writing a prescription. And you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, they haven't taken my blood pressure, they haven't looked at my medical records, they haven't even asked me why I'm actually here. And so you say, well, hey doc, why are you writing me this prescription? And you say, have you ever heard of Pfizer? This is such an awesome company, and I just gave this to 25 patients. And what would you think to yourself? That's insane. But yet, Nick, from small money to big money, that is how the majority of Americans are getting their financial advice, and that is frustrating. So we are determined on this program to make sure that does not happen, and people are doing things that are in their best interest, not the person that's providing that service to them.
Yeah, one of the funniest things that I see too is when people actually realize that the people that they're taking advice from make less money than they do and have
true.
less money in the market than they do. So, you know, it's amazing who it is that you're picking to take your advice from. I think the average financial planner has less money in the market than 87% of the
Right.
people that they're coming to for advice, right? So one of the things that I always ask people or I talk about is, you know, J.D. Rockefeller said, if you want to be a millionaire, you hang around millionaires because only millionaires know what millionaires do, right? Birds of a feather flock together and all that. But you can't learn how to save up $1 million in a retirement account from somebody that isn't doing it themselves, right? How many times do we go out there and we hear about an advisor saying, oh, this is a great product A, buy this product, right? And nobody asks them, well, do you have any of that investment? Oh, no, I don't have any of this investment, but you should buy a ton of it, right? I mean, this is what we commonly see. So if it's good for the gander, it's good for the goose.
Right.
If the goose doesn't own it, then maybe you shouldn't too, so.
Well, it's interesting you pointed that out is because one of the key values in one of our upcoming episodes, we're going to talk about, depending on where you get your advice, is going to dictate whatever it is that you own. And you're really going to want to see that because that's really kind of pulling the curtain behind the scenes. And it's something that your broker definitely doesn't want you to know about. And it's interesting. So the idea here is really to say, hey, what's going to be in your best interest? And I'm excited about this show, Nick, because your decades of experience of helping people on asset protection and tax strategies and incorporating all the pieces that are necessary to do a comprehensive plan, regardless of what type of work you're in, that's exciting to me. And that's really what gets me motivated and why I get up and I know why you do what you do.
And one of the most exciting things for me working with you has always been the fact that you are a fiduciary. There's such a limited amount of advisors that are fiduciaries. And a lot of the people watching this show don't understand the power of getting information from a fiduciary where you don't have a bias over a product or a service. You are required by the law to give them the very best advice regardless of what commissions you make or the brokers you're with or the programs or services that are out there. You have to get them the best advice, and that's the key. It's education, but education with action. So one of the things that we want to bring home to you, all of these topics that we're going to go over with you will do you no good if you don't put them to work. If you're not proactive and you just have the education without action, it's void. It will do nothing for you. So implement these strategies. We're going to run into some of these different topics throughout. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, you follow us, you share with your people, your friends and your family. Everybody is really thirsting for this information. They don't know where to go. One thing that we are not a rah, back of the room, you know, books and tapes and books and throw you into a package and programs and all that. We're not here to sell you. We're here to give you the information so that you're empowered and so that you can make good decisions. Anything to close on there, Rich?
You know, I'll tell you who this show is not for. This show is not for people who just want to go around in a big circle. This show is for people who are truly, genuinely saying, look, as we said at the beginning, they want to really separate all of the nonsense, the bull, if you want to call it. And the people who are right for the show say, look, I really want to take this to another level. I have the right passion for it, and I'm goal-driven. But you know what? All that doesn't mean anything, as you said, unless you have the right tools. So we are beyond excited about having you join us with this show. As you said before, share this with your friends and family. You know why? Because the reality is this: we're not taking ads out on a blimp. Our focus is really saying, how do we help each person one at a time? And we're just really excited about helping people out. And this is going to be a great, really a phenomenal run for us.
Yeah, thanks for being with us today. Follow us on our next show. We're going to be talking to you exactly where our passion is. Why did we get involved in this? why did we start this? Why did we get into our individual businesses, and why did we bring this to you? So, guys, thank you very much for being here. Again, like us on Facebook, share us on all your social media, and remember to everybody that shares with us and spreads the good fortune of this education, you'll go into a raffle where you have a chance to win a $25 gift card to Amazon. Put your information in so that we can contact you directly. We'll follow up with that. And guys, we appreciate you being all here. Look forward to doing our next show. Thanks, Rich.